Welcome back, everybody. Mike McConville here one more time, Stratford, Ontario, Canada, for StringTechWorkstations. Wow. This custom is pretty well done. I'm just kind of ultra tweaking it, triple check the intonation. Of course, we have the continuing saga of the nearly completely destroyed Les Paul Special, VOS no less. So the surgery has been done. You've had a step-by-step on that. This is my setup for the little Bosch Colt. I've got those bearings stacked in a very shallow cutter, and I've skim routed this canal because you can see where it busted out on the inside. If you were watching the last couple of videos, somebody either stepped on this thing or I don't know what happened. But anyway, we're putting it all back together. Luckily, this is a black guitar, so that is part of the saving grace. I've skim routed the interior here so that we can reinforce it also from the inside. So what I have here is a koa veneer, and that's going to drop in to the cavity. So that's what we got. In order to sort of push it down and get it nice and even, I'm going to cut that profile out of this high density foam. Okay, I got camera in one hand and glue brush in the other, but just want to show you. We'll spread that glue on there. You see those cracks? That glue will just fill that right up. Let's drop our veneer in there. Said I've got that high density foam and some weights to kind of hold that down nice and flat. For those of you who are unfamiliar with hide glue, hot hide glue, take the time and learn how to use it. Some of the best advice I can give, and I give this to my students in both the level 1 and level 2 classes, buy yourself a box of 500 tongue depressors, glue them together with those little clamps, let them sit overnight, come back the next day and break them apart. Do that every day for a month. I'm not kidding. Do that every day for a month and you'll learn how to control the heat and the viscosity of the glue. It is the only glue that has stood the test of time. There's furniture from ancient Egypt that's still intact with hide glue. And once you learn how to control the viscosity of the glue, you can make it like water to wick into an almost impossibly thin crack, or you can mix it up like peanut butter and re-glue that K dovetail that came off. You definitely want to do yourself a favor and take the time and learn how to use this. By the time you get to the end of the month, you'll have a pretty good idea how to use hide glue. As you saw in that last video, this is that little sort of corner chip that we glued in. You can see that we got the sort of calico mahogany neck going here. When this is filled and blown in black, nobody would ever know that this guitar was ever damaged. As I've said before, more importantly, it'll never break now. We have restructured the neck and made it stronger than it was originally designed. Now, another magical quality about hide glue, whether it's 2,000-year-old Egyptian furniture or a vintage Gibson guitar from the 20s, when you add hot hide glue to the original hide glue, it amalgamates. There's no other glue that'll do that. So when I put these two little pieces on, when I hit that glue squeeze that's sort of oozing out on the edge of that, the hide glue that I'm putting on will melt that and it will amalgamate with it. One more magical quality about hot hide glue. This is a Gibson VOS. Can't wait to hear this. This is Darren's black Les Paul custom. We have ultra tweaked this thing with those 9 to 42 strings to get this thing to be absolutely perfectly in tune. Like I said in previous videos, the actual values of the compensated nut will change on the scale length and the string gauge. There's almost no compensation on the two outside strings, but there is still compensation on those middle 4. Now he's got a collection of these things. He's got over a dozen of them. And this is the one he said he didn't really like very much because it never really played in tune. Well, listen to it now. chord. It'll play perfectly in tune if you got a light touch. This is another reason that Les Paul headstocks break. When you set that guitar in the case, you should be able to put your finger in between the back of the headstock and the actual floor of the case. So I've just made up that high density foam block and set it in there just to give that clearance. That headstock was actually resting against the bottom of the case. Just wanted to point that out. So go to your local art store and buy some high density foam if you need to, and put one of these in all your cases if need be. So that's another way to kind of baby your Les Paul to prevent breakage. Cheers.